There are few places on Earth as desolate and unforgiving as the Flannan Isles, a remote cluster of rocky outcrops cast adrift in the cold waters of the North Atlantic, some 20 miles west of Scotland's outer Hebrides. Windswept, battered by storms, and shrouded in a near-perpetual mist, these lonely isles have been cloaked in superstition and mystery for generations. But no tale emerging from the Flannan Isles is more chilling or more enduring than the baffling disappearance of 3 lighthouse keepers in December of 1900. This is the haunting story of the Eilean Mor Lighthouse Mystery. The Flannan Isles consist of 7 small islets. The largest among them, Eilean Mor, was chosen as the site for a vital lighthouse, constructed to guard ships against the treacherous Atlantic waters. With cliffs rising sharply from the sea and weather that can turn murderous within minutes, these waters had claimed countless vessels by the 19th century. To combat this hazard, the Eilean Mor Lighthouse was completed in 1899 after 4 years of challenging construction. Standing 75 feet tall, the tower was fitted with a powerful light capable of being seen for more than 20 miles in clear conditions. Operated by 3 full-time lighthouse keepers, alongside a 4th on rotation for shore leave, the station was considered a critical installation for maritime safety. The isolation of the assignment was absolute. With no permanent residence on the island, communication limited to flag signals and scheduled reports, and supply ships only arriving once every 2 weeks. Life on Eilean Mor demanded discipline, mental resilience, and a tolerance for solitude. Those chosen were usually seasoned seamen, men capable of weathering not just the literal storms, but the psychological toll of prolonged isolation. By the end of 1900, the keepers stationed at Eilean Mor were Principal Keeper James Duckett, First Assistant Thomas Marshall, and Second Assistant Donald MacArthur. All were experienced and respected in their roles. Duckett was methodical and composed. Marshall, a capable and steady second. MacArthur, older and known for his fiery temperament, was a tough, battle-worn man from the mainland, a former mariner who had seen more than most. But something intangible, seemed to unsettle even these hardened men. December 15th, 1900, the last confirmed sighting of the keepers. From passing ships, the lighthouse beam continued its steady sweep across the dark, rolling sea. All appeared normal. It wasn't until December 26th that alarm bells rang. The relief vessel Hesperus, delayed by poor weather, finally reached Eilean Mor with supplies and a replacement keeper. As the ship approached the island, Captain James Harvey noticed something amiss almost immediately. It was custom for the keepers to greet incoming vessels with signals from the dock. But on that day, the landing platform was empty. No figures in oilskins, no movement, no smoke from the chimney. The lighthouse flag, which should have been flying high, was missing. An eerie silence hung in the air. Captain Harvey ordered a landing party ashore. What they discovered only deepened the mystery. The door to the lighthouse was unlocked. Inside, nothing appeared broken or ransacked. The lamp was freshly cleaned and filled with oil. The beds were made. A set of oilskins hung neatly on their pegs, except for one, which was missing. The clock on the wall had stopped. On the table, a meal had been laid out: salted meat, boiled potatoes, pickles, all untouched. The chairs were overturned as if someone had left in a hurry. Then there was the logbook. The entries, written by Thomas Marshall, began on December 12th. He recorded an exceptionally violent storm that had battered the island, with winds so fierce they threatened to shatter the lantern panes. He noted that James Ducat had grown strangely quiet, deeply unsettled. On December 13th, Marshall reported something even more disturbing. Donald MacArthur, the most hardened of the three, had been seen crying. For a man like MacArthur, that was deeply out of character. The final entry, dated December 14th, read, "Storm ended. Sea calm. God is over all." After that, nothing. But here's where the facts become more elusive. No storm was recorded in the area at the time the men wrote of violent weather. Ships sailing in nearby waters on those same dates reported calm seas and clear skies. Weather logs from the mainland corroborated those conditions. So what did the keepers experience on Eilean Mor that others did not? Was there some hyper-local meteorological event? Or were they seeing something that defied explanation? The official investigation, conducted by the Northern Lighthouse Board, concluded that the men had been swept away by a rogue wave. Perhaps, they theorized, a sudden squall had forced two of the keepers to secure equipment on the landing platform, only for the third, MacArthur, in a panic, to rush out to help without donning his oilskin. But that explanation raises questions. Would all three men abandon the lighthouse during storm conditions, especially without keeping at least one man inside, as protocol demanded? Why would MacArthur, an experienced seaman, venture out in shirt sleeves? And why was the lighthouse left unlocked with a meal ready and uneaten? The rogue wave theory, though plausible on paper, feels too neat, too convenient. In the decades since, alternative theories have flourished. Some suggest an altercation, a fight that spiraled out of control. The remote location, the pressures of confinement, and the psychological strain could have sparked a deadly confrontation. If one man died, the others might have perished trying to rescue or cover it up. But there are more esoteric theories too. Strange lights were reportedly seen in the skies above the Flannan Isles around the time of the disappearance. Could the men have witnessed something unnatural, something that caused panic or awe? And then there are the legends. Long before the lighthouse was built, Eilean Mor was regarded by locals as a place of spiritual significance. Ancient stories spoke of beings that inhabited the island, spirits or entities tied to the rocks and sea. Some islanders avoided it altogether, calling it cursed. Could these stories have any bearing on what happened? Were the men victims of some ancient force, or simply their own fears? Today, the lighthouse remains, automated since the 1970s, its light still sweeping the sea as it has for over a century. But it now stands as a monument to the men who vanished without trace. Visitors to the island, rare though they are, often speak of an odd stillness. Some say that on certain nights, when the wind is high and the sea restless, you can still hear voices on the breeze, the cries of men lost to time, whispers carried from beyond the veil. Perhaps the truth of what happened lies beneath the waves, forever unreachable. Or perhaps it lingers in the mist, just waiting to be seen. Until then, the Eilean Mor Lighthouse remains a symbol of one of the most enduring maritime mysteries of the modern era. A mystery that, to this day, remains unsolved. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this tale of the unexplained intriguing, share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and pressing the bell icon. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. There are many more mysteries to uncover.